Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with a reading, and I haven't been able to do any readings over the past days. There's been a lot of shifting, and so it's almost as if I've been in this space of not wanting to speak at all because the amount of shifting that has been going on, it's almost like there is a open portal, a new portal that is opening that allows us to channel more from the 5D. And I haven't really had that clear of access to this portal before. And so that's why I didn't necessarily want to speak that much, because it's almost like every time we speak, we just bond ourselves to that old persona or that old programming, or in a sense, the old energies of the 4D. And then, it's like I keep pulling them with me. Um, and so I don't know why I was guided to say that. Maybe that's relevant for some of you as well, that feeling guided to be in silence could very well be that there is this portal of the 5D opening for you. So because of this shift that I've never really experienced before, I decided to pull runes today. And first I pulled a rune for the collective. The rune that came out was Fehu in reverse. So I'll show it on a picture. And this rune in reverse, it kind of talks about loss of wealth. This is something that I'm picking up strongly within the collective. As many of you may know, for me personally, wow, just fell from the tree, didn't hit me though. For me personally, yeah, I'm reminded also of that movie. I don't know if you have that Christmas movie in other countries, but we have like Cinderella and the three acorns. I don't know how to translate it in English, but it's almost like this girl, she gets these three acorns fall on her, and she can make a wish with each of these acorns. So I don't know, it feels also like a little bit of a magical portal, this. But what I was gonna say was that some of you may know that I've been going through this journey of slowly grounding and really stepping into what I like to call the 0 point. And the 0 point really means that you have hardly any possessions, hardly any material possessions. You make yourself very light. And so when Fehu came out for the collective in reverse, I kind of feel as if that is the journey that the collective is now starting to go through. It feels like it's gonna get much more heavy to hold on to material things, also relationships, also identities that were linked to the 4D. This feels like it's gonna start to become more heavy, more karmic, more difficult, just way more taxing. And so we might be entering into cycles like this now, that we're seeing that the economy, the economical environment are starting to shift in that way, to where it's actually more difficult for certain groups of people to hold on to their assets. But then I feel like I said, there's this shifting into the 5D, and so it almost feels like the people that that they were willing to step down based on their intuition before. It's like they're flowing with evolution, kind of. They might be in a position where luck is starting to come in to help them to rebuild themselves. But when they do, what they're building is not going to be based on the energies of the 4D, if that makes sense. It's going to be based on lighter energies, synchronicity, luck. Not greed, not forcing, not pushing, not manipulating. You know what I mean? It's like, Wow, I can't believe that this happened. Wow, that is crazy. It's gonna be based on like some kind of working with the quantum field is honestly what I'm getting. So that is for the collective. I feel collectively it's moving into more difficult times. Then I also decided to pull a rune for those of you watching. And interestingly, the rune that came out was Perth, also in reverse. So hopefully you can see it here. And I will read to you just a little bit from this passage that talks about Perth. It says, a counsel against expecting too much or expecting in the ordinary way, for the old way has come to an end. You simply cannot repeat the old and not suffer. Call in your scattered energies, concentrate on your own life at this moment, your own requirements for growth. Perth counsels you neither to focus on outcomes nor to bind yourself with the memory of past achievements. In doing so, you rob yourself of a true present. Now I'm reminded of the acorn again. The only time in which self-change can be realized. So, yeah, I do feel like if you're able to step into that 0 point of just letting go and being more present and at least having kind of this one part of yourself open to that 0 point, then I don't know, I just feel like you're starting to invite magic back into your space. So let's go on and pull some more cards here. I feel like it's suitable to pull from this Magdalene Oracle because I think that many of you may have been going through kind of challenging times, you know, trying to find ourselves, trying to become aware of the karma and related to our bloodline, you know, related to past experiences, relationships, also financial restraints I'm feeling for a lot of us. It's just like we're trying to shed the old and start to invite the new in, and that is taxing, it's difficult, it takes time. And so I feel like the Magdalene, you know, Mary Magdalene, she is that force of the spirit. You know, she was a whore. She was seen as a whore, meaning that she was that energy, she represents that energy of all of the eyes, you know, all of the selves that they were never given any value. They did not have the right to speak up. They did not have the right to create anything of their own. They did not have the right to use their voice and call in their own purpose. You know, they were just there to be this container for other people's seeds. And so I feel like that is a big part, a huge chunk of what we're letting go of, that energy of the whore, someone that just has to shut up and receive what the big men of society, you know, what the authority in the family, the authority in the relationship, whatever it may be, wants to put into you. And so that is something that we're healing now. And Magdalene is perfect for that. So I'm excited to see what can she offer us today. What guidance? What do we need to know? I'm feeling quite a lot of sadness here. The matrix underneath. I'm feeling also that some of you might be realizing that you have taken on this energy of essentially a rapist before, on an energetic level, I mean. It's like trying to push or force people to hold space for your seeds. Because, again, you didn't have that inner feminine activated within yourself. If this is the case, I feel like there can be a lot of healing and forgiveness for you, for yourself. You forgiving yourself for that right now. It's part of that dynamic that we were trapped in, you know. And I think that if we realize our shadow and if we take measurement to rectify our shadow, we bring justice to that type of behavior, we change it, then we are no longer influenced by those energies that created that shadow, right? It's like we separate ourselves from those bonds and we open up to new influences, new sources. And in that moment when we do that, this is a rebirth. We're no longer the same person. It's like we're actually entering into another incarnation in a way. If you look at it from a spiritual level, it's a complete rebirth, and it's, historically speaking, very rare that humans would have had the insight and the light to do this en masse. But this is what's happening now. And so if you do the work of shifting and finding better sources so that you become more of the person that you would like to be, that old karma, you can also let it be released, because it's no longer who you are. That's what I'm feeling. So that was just a message for some of you there. Interesting. Gaia came out in reverse. Yeah, I feel that for some of you, actually, maybe you would benefit from tuning into more nature-based religions. For instance, like Norse mythology or things like that, because I feel like some of you may trapping yourself within some type of karma because of that notion of good and bad. That if you made a mistake, you're bad and you should suffer for it. And if you're able to convince everyone that you are not bad, you're good and you shouldn't suffer at all, I really don't like that duality. It doesn't promote health in my mind. And so I think maybe opening up to other perspectives where it's not so much about good and bad, it's more about accepting both sides, because if you're able to accept the bad and the good, that's when you can actually start to do changes within yourself. If you're only focusing on being good, it's very hard to discriminate. It's very hard to sense what you are compared to other things. It's very hard to take ownership of your actual space, your womb, your feminine. And that oftentimes it puts us in the position of actually being a whore, someone that has not yet activated their true voice, someone that is not able to speak from the root of their being and really speak things that are unique to them, because there is fear, there is still trauma, there is still all of these things that makes us so frustrated and feel so hopeless, blocking us. And so for me, part of kind of overcoming all of those very difficult, almost like mutilating feelings that make you into mute, feelings that takes your limbs away, it's almost what it feels like. It just makes you into this powerless, like limbless astral creature, kind of. All of these feelings, I find that it's easier to overcome these feelings if you actually become more comfortable with seeing both the bad and the good and understanding both, because it's not us, these are energies flowing through us. We can choose to bond with them, or we can choose to sever that bond and invite in something new. But to be able to have that sword, to where that choice, the free will, to where we can actually choose to sever a bond, we have to be bigger than it. We have to understand it. And if you're afraid of being it, if you're afraid of playing with it, inviting it in, playing out that role for yourself to see what does this lead to, you're not bigger than it. You don't understand it. It owns you. You haven't learned from it. So that's what I'm getting for some of you, to gently, softly, maybe consider opening up to that path of overcoming this duality. can be more difficult than we think. You know, we hear a lot of people talk about it, and it can seem like it's something that we do in a month's time. This is like lifelong work, of course. So I'm not saying to rush into this, but that's just what's coming through from the Magdalene here. So let's also pull a card from the Rider-Waite to wrap this reading up. Anything else? Too many cards coming out. But underneath the deck was the Knight of Wands. So let's see. Feels like there's a lot of shifting. A lot of shifting happening now. Yeah. I feel like to the collective, there might be a lot of shifting. I'm just hearing an animal. I'm just wondering, what is it? Is it a deer? Is it a moose? Do I need to run? Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's also a message for some of you that there might be some incoming energies, maybe even to like your physical space, and maybe you're wondering like, how am I going to respond to this? Do I actually need to get out? Do I need to change my environment somehow? I'm hearing let go of some assets for some of you. Yeah, the Ace of Swords with the Three of Wands here. So I feel that for some of you, this is happening on a very materialistic level, that you're looking at your possessions, you're looking at your assets. Maybe you're considering, what do I let go of to just make my load a bit lighter, to make it, to start to step down, you know, and start to just simplify is what I'm hearing. For others of you, this is very much on an internal energetic level, that you're really observing all of these influences on an energetic, in an energetic form. So maybe you've already let go of a lot of the actual material stuff, or maybe you didn't have as much to begin with. This actually will make your path lighter. It will make this transition a lot easier and a lot quicker, because you're just gonna be, you can choose to be much less involved with other people, which means that you can build your energy much faster, and you can become immune to a lot of the other energies that people are bonded to faster, which means that it just means that you're gonna have more energetic power. If you know, you're just gonna have more energetic power to choose what you want, and the collective are just gonna follow you more and more and more. So that's what I'm feeling for some of you, that maybe in your family group or in your environment, in your friend group, you're starting to realize that when you do this karmic work internally, neutralizing energies, you know, becoming very, very aware of the different influences, you know, the ships here. What are the influences that are in your field? And, you know, have you learned their lesson? And if you have, you know, is it time to let go of that influence and call in something new? I think that for some of you, you may see that when you do that work, you will see that actually the people around you will just start to shift subconsciously with you. And that is a sign that you're starting to become this master, is what I'm hearing, this spiritual master, to where you can actually shift groups of people with you into the 5D. So that's for some of you as well, and that is quite exciting. So yeah, I'm just gonna pull one more time. I'm getting a bit curious now. Two of Swords in reverse was underneath the deck there. For some of you, the waiting is over, like you're entering into your purpose now. Yeah, I'm also hearing the flash for some of you, that you're reaching that place of just like opening up so much more to the 5D, to the higher dimension. 5D particularly, I'm feeling. Anything else for these people? Wow, the Tower in reverse. And the Nine of Cups in reverse. For others of you with these cards, I do feel like behind the Nine of Cups was also Nine of Swords, by the way, and the Death card. Yeah, and the King of Pentacles. So for others of you, I feel like you're not opening up to that space yet of really starting to channel the 5D, because you're afraid of letting go of the material possessions that you have acquired. And this is very understandable. Like, I completely understand. I would never judge anyone for this, because it is scary. It is scary to step down. So I would just say, if you are in this position, just try to stay ahead of the curve. Like, try to stay ahead of the collective, and start to really pay attention to the collective, what is happening in the collective. I think that everyone is gonna kind of be pushed to go down this route of letting go of a lot of material possessions. It's like things are gonna shift hands. Things are gonna shift hands. And so I think it's also going to be more easier once the collective gets into it. It's going to be more normal. Again, people will start to get immune to this, having to let go of, their value, having to let go of their old identities, having to let go of their possessions, having to kind of let go of their king and their queen, that version of themselves that used to be a king and a queen. When we start awakening to the 5D, we have to let go of those old gods, so to speak, because they are of the upper levels of the 4D, and they used to be the all-knowing ones, right? The all-knowing gods. But when we open up to 5D, those old God starts falling. And that's when energies like this, like the Magdalene and like Jesus and other types of energies, your higher self, you in that Christ energy, that's when that starts to flow in, and things start shifting. So I feel like we are actually at that moment now. Some of you, you may be a little bit resistant towards it, so I would just say, just go with the collective for now and get used to these types of energies, and just try to stay ahead the curve. Try to read the collective and get rid of things before things really crashes. That's what I would say. Because it does seem like this is happening now, but hopefully it's gonna happen over several years, so everyone gets a chance to kind of adjust to these energies. So yeah, I'm just gonna end it there. I hope you're doing good, guys. Thank you for watching. Take care.